What a time to be alive. It's springtime. It's 12:27. My name is Seth, and these are my 8 cents. Get it? Anywho, what a time to be alive today in the present wrestling world with so much going on. Promotions such as CYN or Control Your Narrative starting, Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. That should be interesting. Just a lot. I want to touch on two subtopics before I get to the big one. The first topic I would like to talk about is we've all heard last week about the untimely passing of the great Scott Hall. I was a Scott Hall fan. All right, Reyes Ramon, Chico. I watched his work in WWF, WCW, and all parts in between. And I would like to say, Mr. Scott Hall, the wrestling world is poor for having lost you. Rest in peace. The second thing I want to talk about, I was going to make a big video on it, but I didn't think I would have much to say and have it be of any weight. Two of the Hall of Fame inductees of this year. These two should have been inducted a long time ago. And I'm talking about The Undertaker and Vader. I grew up watching both of these individuals. I was scared shitless of Vader growing up. He was Big Van Vader in WCW, and the way that he would manhandle his opponents and break, spleens and noses. I was fucking scared of this dude. And then I did the dumb thing. I cheered against him when he fought Hogan. And then he became a face and left and went to WWE. And you all know what happened there. But I'm glad that he is finally getting his moments. Although he should have got it before he passed away. That's my opinion. Vader is without question a legend. He knew how to work. He knew everything. He was fantastic. So I say to you up there, Leon White, Big Van Vader, you deserve it. This is for you. The second inductee, however, your favorite of mine, the man from the dark side, the phenom, the dead man, the last outlaw, the American badass, the Undertaker. The Undertaker. I grew up, I was a fan of the Undertaker. I didn't give two shits about Hogan and Warrior, and Macho was cool. But the Undertaker was a sight to behold. His size, his agility, his whole presentation, and Paul Bearer as his manager, come on. What kid wasn't an Undertaker fan? And I'm so grateful and fortunate to see all of the incarnations and evolutions of Mark Calloway. And it killed me when he didn't get a chance to fight Sting. It killed me when the streak ended at the hands of Brock Lesnar. But it really killed me when he had to retire, although I understand it. Mr. Undertaker, you have given so much to the wrestling world. Thank you for making my childhood the best that's ever been. Sincerely, your fan, Seth. Now on to the main issue at hand here. Numerous sources have confirmed or have stated that Mr. Man of the Hour, Cody Rhodes, has signed with WWE and will make his first appearance since 2016 after WrestleMania. There are polarizing views about this matter. Some are for it, some are against it. I'm going to give you my 8 cents. Cody, my man Cody. I remember when you first started and you were just a white meat vanilla baby face who turned into a heel, who was the second in command of Legacy. But then your personality started to change. It started to be something. And I got to see how special you were. You took whatever the WWE gave you and you made it work. That's genius. That's also a curse. Cody, for the people who have left WWE and came back, you ever watched what happened to them? You need some examples? The first one, Christian. Christian came along as Edge's brother in the Brood. The Brood breaks up. They become tag team champions, but Christian is seen as the shadow of Edge. We all know who the major star was. No disrespect to Christian. I love Christian. Christian gets some mid. He's seen as an upper mid card. But the storylines don't necessarily matter at times. Pardon me. He leaves and goes to TNA as Christian Cage. He has an undefeated winning streak for about a year or more. He wins the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship twice. He has a great run there. He's a leader of his own group, the Christian Coalition, and then he leaves. But before he leaves, he gets jumped by the Main Event Mafia. And then when he comes back to WWE, where's he land at? ECW. Or excuse me, WWECW. See what I did there? I didn't copyright that, but I like that term a lot better. Moving on. If Edge never retired, do you think that Christian would have got a run with the World Heavyweight Championship? No, he wouldn't have. And it's not a knock on Christian's abilities. Christian got it because Edge had to retire. Just like Ray got a run with the World Heavyweight Championship because Eddie Guerrero passed away. It wasn't their idea, but they said, fuck it, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Right? Cody, that could be you. That could be you. All right? And you don't deserve that. You're too good for that. You are too good to have to go through that. I get you feel that you needed to leave AEW for whatever reason. Maybe you weren't happy. Maybe it was the money. Maybe your heart just wasn't in it. I understand that. That happens. But when you leave and you go back, what do you think is going to happen? You are a pawn in the game of a non-existent war, Cody. Do you realize that? I hope you do. You signing with them is pretty much is Vince saying, we got an AEW guy. When the IWC realize that, some of them are going to feel that the tide is about to change. Oh, look. We got the EVP of AEW. Oh. It's over. It's no secret that in the wrestling world, motherfuckers know that WWE is the big man on campus. It's the only game in town. If you think about it. Everything else, below. And this isn't a knock on AEW, but when people think of wrestling, what do they think of? They think of WWE because WWE is always in their face, whether it's a toy at a store, a magazine online, a t-shirt at Walmart. Anything WWE-esque is in the public eye. Outside of Spencer's, outside of any other store, it's just there. It's just there. So you leaving to go back to the promised land, what do you think is going to happen to you? I'll tell you. You're probably going to get maybe, if you're lucky, a 6-month high run. And once that wears down, they're going to forget about you. You may even be Stardust again. But I don't see Cody being WWE champion. I don't think that Vince sees Cody as being WWE champion. Let's go in history a little bit, shall we? Dusty was there. What did they do with him? They put him in polka dots and gave him sapphire. The NWA treated him like a big deal. He was the common man, the American dream. When you heard Dusty talk on Saturday on the TBS channel, you could resonate with the words he was saying. WWF just turned into a fucking joke. Go back and watch YouTube and see the difference. You'll see what I mean. Number 2, your brother, the natural Dustin Rhodes. Again, the NWA and WCW treated him like a big deal. He was the second coming of Dusty. It said so in his theme song. He's living proof the American dream still lasts. Go back and check that out too. What happens when he gets to WWF? He becomes Goldust. Goldust was a very controversial figure who morphed from a movie fanatic to a man with homosexual tendencies who's androgynous to mindfuck his opponents. Then they turned him into a comedy figure. They let him go more times than the law would allow. Did he ever get a run of the world's title? No. You see my point, Cody? There is a name. There's one more person I thought that left and came back to Vince, but the name just escaped me. So please bear with me on this. It's been a while since I did a video on this, so yeah. Moving along, the point I'm trying to make, Cody, to you, it's no secret that you're good at what you do. You're great in the ring. You're good on the mic. When you talk, people listen. I love your promos, especially when you were Stardust and you talked to your father. Was it his last Raw appearance? It may or may not have been. I have to go back and look. But I hung on to your every word. Or how you talked about getting the attitude out because you have problems with Goldust and the Big Show and people from the Attitude Era. Old men talking, young men dying. I remember that, Cody. And then you left. And you helped create All Elite Wrestling. That has your blood on it too. You got to wrestle your brother on the inception of their pay-per-view. Something Vince would not allow the two of you to do. Because he didn't see any marketing in it. But Tony Khan said, do it. I'll be honest with you, Cody. The fact that you gambled, hey, no risk, no reward. Maybe I'm wrong. I believe in taking risks, but at the right time. And maybe, just maybe, this is a good risk to take. I don't know. I'm not in your head. I don't know your situation. I don't. This is just me as a wrestling fan just giving his opinion. All right? I don't trust Vince McMahon and the WWE. Although I do agree with some of the things that they do, I still don't trust them. But I respect what they do to some points. But I believe every wrestler, whether you are the main event guy, whether you are the top mid-card or the low mid-card, or even enhancement talent, you have to think to yourself, what is the best decision to make? What is the best decision to make? This is your dad's legacy. This is your family legacy. I watched Adam talk about doing a fantasy booking of Cody Rhodes in the WWE, and I loved it. Fighting to get, his father's, trademarks back in alliance with Charlotte Flair as the birthright. Spectacular. I watched that. If it were me, I would have Cody on WrestleMania. I would have Seth Rollins come out and say, who wants to fight me? And here comes Cody. I'd watch. I'm really debating whether or not to watch WrestleMania this year. I haven't watched WrestleMania since I was elsewhere, but I just might watch this WrestleMania just to see if Cody appears. I don't give two shits about the Roman Lesnar match. I can tell you that right now. I'm over that shit. Cody, as a wrestling fan who's watched for as long as he can remember, I want you to get your just due. I want to see you. If you go there, I want you to be the WWE champion. I will cheer. I said I would cheer for you, and I stick by that. But you have to understand that you're going to get the Christian treatment. The only person who is an exception is Bobby Lashley. He left, went to Impact, came back better. I'm not saying everyone who leaves and goes back is in the same boat, but there are particular people. Christian's one of them. If this is true, I would like to see you fight Randy Orton. That's money on the table. Money on the fucking table. But it seems like these days, well, for every good decision the WWE makes, there's another one that they fuck up. I hope you're not one of the ones that are fucked up. I want you to have the best run there that you possibly can. Because Cody Rhodes, you fucking deserve it. You fucking deserve it. All right? Anything less would be criminal, especially to a man of your stature. So I'll be waiting for you, whether you come before Mania, whether you come at Mania, or even after. Just know, the moment you do arrive, I will be watching.